everybody. We're we're the founders of Cultivate Fertility. This is Dr. Kara Burkhart. She's incredible. She's in Connecticut right now. She's at her office, and she is going to bring a ton of her wisdom and expertise about fertility, acupuncture, Chinese medicine. And
I'll just introduce you really fast. So this is Dr. Hillary. So she is a pediatric and family medicine expert, and she's really good at cooking and running detoxes. So we have her with us to talk about that. And she's also just really fun to hang out with. So this should be pretty good. And especially at 1 p.m, it's not even like nighttime and you're tired. It's perfect.
no, I'm not tired. It's not nighttime. And at some point there's going to be some
I was wondering.
happening.
Have they eaten lunch?
Yeah, I think we'll make it through without the lunch, but we'll see. But they're going to go pick up my farm share box.
Oh, very good.
My daughter. And so
sounds good. So we're starting out with foods that you can focus on while a lot of us are in quarantine, a lot of us spending more time at home, and home cooking's definitely gone up. And so that's really good because you're kind of forced to cook for yourself. So what are you suggesting that people should be cooking, Hill?
Well, I think for right now, especially for fertility patients, what we want to do, well, for all my, all patients and people, since we're home, the good news is we're eating a lot less out. So I think people are finding that they're having a lot less salt, a lot less kind of processed foods, or a lot less foods that they're sort of not in control with. Because even me, I mean, I'm pretty careful about what I eat, but when I'm out and about, I sort of like, if I can find an organic place, great. But if not, sometimes I'm not eating, I don't know exactly what I'm eating. So the great part about this pause is that we can really focus on what we're taking in and optimize our minerals and our nutrients, especially for women who are kind of waiting for their fertility treatments or waiting to continue their family if they feel like they've been on pause. So let's talk about some of our favorite things just at Cultivate Fertility. And all the different things that we're talking about today, we'll either post or send, or you can find the recipes at cultivatefertility.com. In the blog section, you'll see some recipes. I'm going to do the anchovy recipe, which sounds gross, but it's delicious. And the morning detox tea, sunrise detox.
And then I'm going to do the seed mixture.
Yay. So one thing that we're really trying to encourage our patients or anybody on pause in fertility is to really work on anti-inflammatories, and using food as medicine is one of the best ways to use. There's so many herbs that work really well to keep us in an anti-inflammatory space. Having us reduce our just inflammation in general is, one, good for being antiviral, right? But two, it also just helps our reproduction, our hormone, it helps our mood. And so we, like in our 30-day detox, we do a lot of trying to get people to reduce their sugar intake and to reduce their processed food intake. But even if you're not on a specific detox, one thing you can do is increase your herbal antioxidants and anti-inflammatories. And so Kara and I created this delicious drink, which comes from, a lot of people drink lemon water and it's used for forever. And many cleanses use lemon water and cayenne. Ooh,
So this is a question that comes up. Is the lemon water in the morning supposed to be done warm, room temperature? What do you think? Because usually here in Connecticut, I recommend warm. In a mug, you squeeze your lemon, it's the warm drink. And more often than not, people just stick with it. It's not as thorough as what you're going to show us, but what do you say on that? What is the sort of detox roots of that?
So for sure, anytime that you're trying to provide the most ease to the body, then we want to change the body the least. Does that make, so like having taking something in the morning first thing around the same temperature that our body is causes the body less stress, as opposed to like having something be ice cold where the body has to then warm it up. And there's something about warming that's very vasodilating, and it helps with circulation. So we know when we use, part of the reason why we use this morning detox drink is to increase circulation, especially for our fertility patients, because it increases circulation to the reproductive organs. So when it's warmer, it just is kind of in sync with the body. The body has to do less to process it. And that's like, remember in Chinese medicine when our professors would freak out on us when we would have our cold smoothies in the morning?
Did not like that.
Kara and I went to school in Seattle, and we both studied naturopathic medicine and Chinese medicine. And Chinese medicine was on the third floor, and naturopathic medicine was on the second floor. And in naturopathic medicine, everyone walks around with their green smoothies. And this was like way back in the day. And they were cold. Yeah. And we would bring them up to Chinese medicine. Our Chinese medicine professors were like, what's wrong with you people? Like, you're young, you need to have babies. Like, you can't drink something cold in the morning. So it's also just the energetics of drinking something warm in the morning helps with circulation, helps the liver, and it makes it less stressful on the body.
So that's the tea in the morning thing. And then traditionally in detoxes, though, it's that master cleanse tea. So it's the cayenne, the lemon, and what else is in there? Maple syrup, I think.
They add maple syrup because they're fasting. So like the traditional master cleanse is a fasting detox, which some people
don't recommend that. No,
we're not doing that for fertility or reproduction. And so we don't need to add maple syrup to our detox tea. Also because we add ginger and cinnamon, which is so delicious. They add maple syrup for calories, but we're eating food, so we don't need that. But so again, you can see our recipe, our cultivatefertility.com, if you want to like print it out. But what our morning detox tea uses is ginger, and this is really inexpensive in a store to buy, and you can find it organic. Costco sells it. And cinnamon.
So fresh ginger is preferable to dry ginger, but if you had dry ginger in your house, you could use the dry ginger.
Yeah, you could.
So if you use the dry ginger, just cut it at least in half. The fresh ginger has a lot of water in it, so it's going to get too ginger spicy if you put as much.
So I would say if you don't have the fresh herbs and you're using the spices like this, ginger and cinnamon, then you just can use a little bit. But this is not my preference. My preference is if you're doing things like this. And you were saying, Kara, dried ginger, meaning if you get the dried ginger like from the bulk.
Well, no, just dried spiced ginger is so much hotter in nature based on Chinese medicine than the fresh ginger, but people can definitely use it because it's still a circulatory stimulant, and it's going to get blood flow to your reproductive organs and all the antioxidants to your reproductive organs that we think really help with fertility. So I think if that's what you have, use it. It's just going to be much more potent. So I'm worried people are going to put the same dose as we put a thumb-sized piece of that. That's going to be a tablespoon. That's going to be much too much.
You're right. So my favorite move is to spill when I'm trying to demonstrate this. So instead, I'm going to now lift this up and show. I have some on the stove. So in there are ginger chunks and cinnamon chunks. I also used turmeric for this batch, but it's not necessary. Our recipe doesn't have it. Sorry for the shakedown.
I need the ginger now. Hand that over.
The ginger and the cinnamon, you cut it into chunks, you put it into the pot, and then you make what's called an herbal decoction. And herbal decoction is what slowly brings out the medicine from these plants. These plants are warming, they're anti-inflammatories, they bring a ton of goodness to your fertility organs, your organs of reproduction, and also just your liver. They help with detox. So what I
also like to say, though, about the turmeric, that ginger is the same sort of plant. It's the same plant family. We always talk about that Indian spice, the turmeric that's orange, and you see the little orange roots in the grocery store now. But ginger's in the same plant family. They're cousins, so it's a very good anti-inflammatory also. I don't know why ginger doesn't get as much press. I think that turmeric got all the research, and it is amazing. But ginger's excellent and maybe be even better for the fertility stuff than turmeric.
which is why we have it in our detox tea, right? It's amazing. And so then once it's been simmered, you cover the 2 hard herbs, you simmer it for about 10 minutes. And then after that, what you do is, this is my,
you can see that, yeah.
you can see the beautiful color that comes. And then this, what I did is added a half, like this is a big lemon, so just a half of lemon and a little bit of cayenne. And what that does in the morning, this is what I drink in the morning. I have so many patients during the shelter in place. I've been running several detoxes, and just what people say, they report that they feel alert, alive, awake. They don't crave their coffee as much. They feel warm. They feel ready to
also, people just stay on it. So it has to be amazing. Like once people start doing it, it becomes part of the daily regimen of their lives, and they must get something really positive from it because they just stick with it. And that's really interesting. Months later, you know, you talk to someone and they're still doing it. So it has to be just really helpful.
I think that the herbs, the warming herbs, the cinnamon and the ginger and then the lemon together work to really kind of promote a sense of happiness. And in the morning, I mean, especially right now, and especially for our fertility patients, like it's nice to consume things that make us feel good. This tea is one of those kinds of things. It just makes you feel good, and it smells good. My kids are always like, "It smells so delicious."
It does. It's the cinnamon, I think, makes the whole house smell so cozy
So
and
nice.
wonderful.
It's very like comforting, holiday-ish. So that's one thing I really am encouraging. My people are really enjoying it, and even though it's warming up all around the country, it's still just a really nice practice to start in the morning and using incredibly medicinal herbs. Okay.
Right. So that hits the happiness, the anti-inflammatory diet, and also creating a healthy environment because it's going to be better for you than your cup of coffee.
It's definitely much less stimulating in a nerve where it gets your nervous system fired up, and it's more soothing, and it is excellent. Like it's drinking medicine without it tasting gross. It's delicious. Okay, I would love for you to talk about one of your favorite things. Dr. Kara and I, if any of you go on to do work with us at Cultivate Fertility, which we hope you do, we've recorded incredible classes that we love, and we did most of them here, a diet course and a detox course, and we one of the most fun videos I made was us making this seed mix. Kara talked about, she's going to show. We were like flinging things all around, but it was really fun. And at the very end, Kara said, "This is an amazing thing to give as a gift," and it just made me laugh so hard. But ever since we made it, in our Cultivate Fertility cooking, I've had it, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to give these as gifts anyway. So they're
really nice gifts. You have to put a ribbon on it. I don't have that set up here, but we developed this sort of strategy because all our fertility patients, we want to eat lots of nuts and seeds for the micronutrients, for the fats, and there's a lot of reasons for it. And I think it was sort of based on a traditional Chinese medicine formula that's really high in seeds, and then the naturopathic approach of doing seed cycling. So how many people over all these years, Hillary, have told you, I got my menstrual cycle regulated, I fixed all these menstrual cramps, all kinds of things by doing seed cycling. So then we decided we're going to have people use these really excellent seeds in their diets daily. So what we do is just sort of stack them, and we have a really nice handout on this: black sesame seeds, pumpkin seeds, chia, sesame seeds, and we also have sunflower on the top of this one, but there's a few layers you can do and some other choices. I was out of hemp at my house when I put this together, but hemp, absolutely, the hemp hearts should be in here, but I just didn't have any because I used them all in our smoothies.
No problem. Wait, let me show what they are.
Yeah. So I love the Hillary's refrigerator is always jam-packed with amazing foods. So, and it's often on our videos and so much fun. So hemp hearts are
like hemp
Yeah,
seed.
or hemp seeds, right? So
Anyway,
they're light and nice. So these seed mixtures can go over almost any of your meals, and people love them. It makes any sort of salad, if people aren't excited about their salad or they aren't excited about having their, soup, whatever it is, you put the seeds on top and it just brings such pizzazz to the whole meal that people love it. And I think that a lot of the feedback we get back from patients who already eat very clean, good diets is that they say, I didn't realize how much of these fats I should be eating. And changing that has changed a lot in my life. So we have those kind of comments made over and over again from people. So I think it's really neat to talk about nuts and seeds and how much you really could be getting in your diet and what we think we should be getting. Because if you add it in like that nutrient tracker kind of stuff, it always pushes your fats way outside of what's recommended, but maybe that's going to be good in a fertility sense. So it depends on who you are, but we're always trying to think about what people are consuming for omega-3s, omega-9s, omega-6s, all of that.
And we have seen over the years that the majority of our patients are really deficient in omegas. And so it's a big part of our job for kind of all people and all issues, but especially for fertility and pregnancy. So much research on DHA and EPA. Sorry, my son is calling me. Kyle, I'm upstairs.
I'm going to talk while Hillary's trying to talk, but this is the working mom thing that everybody does. So the seeds is a really good thing for the fats, and that brings us right into hormones, because we also use these essential fatty acids to help regulate our hormone systems, because hormones are based on the same chemical structure as good quality fats. So one of the things that Hillary makes is an anchovy dressing, and I'm more of a vegetarian, vegan kind of diet kind of person. And so for me, anchovies don't really appeal at all. If it comes on a salad or something, I'll just pick them off. I wouldn't eat an anchovy ever because it's not for me. But I have to tell you that she makes this salad dressing and I love it, and my whole family loves it. So she's just going to show us that, because it's a way to get some of these omega-3 fats into our diets without aggressively eating the anchovies, which would probably be really good for us if we could do it.
I forced it on you in our filming. When we were filming here, I made the dressing on film and I made her try it because I knew she wouldn't do it. But on camera, she wasn't going to deny it, and she loved it.
It's so good.
So I'll make anchovy dressing, but can I say one more thing? This is a chia seed pudding. I just made it last night because I was craving it, which is chia seeds with almond milk and cinnamon. And that seed mix on top of the chia seed pudding is such an amazing way to take a few bites, to have something. And then I put tons of berries.
Right. So, and we do that on top of oats too, in our Cultivate Fertility bowls. That's how we do it with these. So that's beautiful. That looks good, Hill.
Delicious. Okay, so let's talk about anchovies. Anchovies and essential. So we talk about essential fatty acids a lot for hormones, just like Kara was saying. We don't tend to eat a lot of little baby fish in our culture. In other cultures, like I lived in Spain for a little while, they eat little baby fish like for fun with beer. Or
they even have huge sardines this big. They're unbelievable.
And we don't do that. So I'm always trying to find ways for my patients. And yes, we talk about getting Alaskan salmon, but it's not that easy to do those things all the time. But this dressing is one of those things that you can do. So you go and you get a little baby jar of anchovies. And this is, they're not that expensive. And
they're supposed to be in oil. Is that the deal with buying the anchovies? Because when I do it, I buy the same one you buy just because that's what you make it with. But do you have to look for oil?
Most of them are packed in oil. Some, like some tuna, oh my God, I can't open it. Some tuna is packed in water, or like some fish are packed in water. We want to try to get these packed in oil. But I think most of the anchovies are packed in oil.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna can you try to open this for me? Sure. I'm gonna see if the 16-year-old can do it more than me. Oh my God, how embarrassing. Okay, so the fish go in, and then what I do is there's a recipe on our website, again, cultivatefertility.com, under the blogs, anchovy dressing. You'll see it. Oh my God, we're like super struggling.
Thank
Oh,
thank
she,
you.
the scary thing when you're opening up anchovies in with oil is that if you do it too aggressively, it's going to spray, and that I highly recommend against that. So maybe doing it over the sink is a good move. I also don't like to reach my finger in there because they smell a little gross, so I get a cute.
So you're not supposed to use that oil though, right? Or do you?
Absolutely.
Okay, because I use the oil, but then another recipe I was reading said to remove it from the oil. So that's why I'm even asking you.
It's so little, and it's been sitting in there, and so it's been marinating, and it has a lot of the nutrients in it. So,
Okay.
So you're just gonna throw that in, and then
You can use veganase too, right? And that's the Dijon.
this is Dijon. So wait, why would you use veganase?
Well, because like I said, I was looking up all these anchovy dressings, and I think a lot of them call for mayonnaise. So you could always, I would not do the mayonnaise. I would do the veganase. So that would be it.
We're doing, especially because this is for our detox. I don't have it with mayonnaise because I'm
You don't have any.
I like mine extra garlicky. You could do like 1 to 3 cloves. I'm going to put in 3 cloves, and then white wine vinegar. So I've made this enough that I'm just eyeballing it. And when you hang out with me enough in my kitchen, you'll see that I am really, both Kara and I are really trying to get you to just make food and have fun and measure less. The recipes are there if you need to measure. But this one you can't really mess up. This is a combo of olive oil and avocado oil. And I do that because just the olive oil alone is sometimes kind of intense. And so this is essentially like a Caesar salad dressing. I didn't measure it, but I think that's going to work out great. And then it's like a Caesar salad dressing without all the cheese.
The cheese and the mayonnaise are not there, but I think it's better without the cheese.
It's like amazing, and my kids love it. And so anytime you're cooking with oil and fish, you need an acid to brighten and lighten things up. That's what really brings the flavor. And we also know that lemon activates our digestive system. It's the same reason why it's in our morning detox tea. It makes you assimilate minerals, nutrients, medicine. It just helps to activate our digestion and our liver. So a ton of lemon really helps out. And so I like the juice of kind of like 1 whole lemon. And then even when I'm serving it, I brighten up the salad greens with the lemon right before I'm serving it. So it's just that easy. I'm going to go into the other room and blend it. Kara, why don't you?
I'm gonna go into the hormone piece with the fats. The one hormone we really wanted to talk about is oxytocin. So oxytocin is a hormone that's released with touch and cuddling, and probably one of the reasons why people like body work so much, massage, etc. And it's a hormone we don't really discuss that much unless people are breastfeeding, and we just don't think about it. But anyway, one of the things that we're recommending for people with shelter in place going on right now, or if you're just trying to work on your fertility at all, is really thinking about cuddling to release oxytocin, because that hormone is really good for dealing with anxiety. It actually is it's a really good sort of treatment to boost that hormone if you're nervous all the time. So one of the things we're just saying, like, hey, pick a funny movie, cuddle up on the sofa, and that's really going to help release your natural body's ability to deal with stress. So I really like that one because it's true. And I think that's part of the reason why having pets might be associated with decreasing cardiovascular disease and all kinds of things, because you end up like petting them and there's touch involved. And I definitely am more concerned about my patients who are home alone right now, doing telemedicine with them, than people who have other people around. And obviously the cuddling is an important aspect if you're trying to get pregnant. So that's one thing. It's a happiness strategy, and it also can help with balancing out the hormones. So we really like that one, because obviously reducing stress and cortisol is going to help overall with your fertility. And it's something we talk to people a lot about. So just your own oxytocin, that's going to be something to think about. Another one of those strategies for happiness that change your hormone systems is exercise. So that's another thing that we're just making sure everyone's exercising while they're at home, because you know that's going to be a mild antidepressant. It's going to be best if you go out into green trees and parks and things like that. That's going to be even better of an antidepressant. But making sure that you're moving your body every day and getting some kind of blood flow going is extremely important if you're trying to get pregnant.
I'm back. Can I take it from you?
Yeah, take it with the fats.
I'm like, I want to cuddle with someone. Here's the anchovy dressing. It smells delicious. You blend it up enough that it's all the chunks are blended. And then what I didn't add, I always add at the end, is a ton of fresh cracked pepper because I like it like that. But it's literally just that easy. And this is enough usually for 2 rounds of salad for my pretty big, heavy eating family. And it will last in a jar for several days in the fridge. So salad dressings are something that Dr. Karen and I talk to our Cultivate Fertility patients about a lot, like making salads taste delicious and having really good fats. So you can tell, like, one of our themes are fatty acids, and that's because they promote hormone health and brain health, and happiness goes hand in hand with the brain health. So we're really trying to like help our clients, our patients, improve their happiness at this time, because it's been such a stressful time for people. So
one of the things in your environment you can do too is the plants, because that's one of the other things that we're trying to remind people of. And so I have this big one next to me here. This is actually one that will help with air purifying. It's a huge fern. You can't see the whole thing. It's a massive plant here. And so the bigger the plant, the better it's going to be in your environment. And it helps clean it's like an air filter. So certain things, like if you bought a new sofa or carpet and it's off-gassing, like it smells at all, sometimes that's formaldehyde, and that can interfere with your hormones. So plants also are known to help your mood and concentration. And so we're trying to make sure everyone has plants around them, especially in your workspace. So we at our office have plants in all of our treatment rooms and in all of our desk areas too. And so I think it's really important to have these when you are creating your workspace at home. Lots of plants, fresh air, lots of light, definitely opening the blinds. Do not leave the blinds closed. You need that light coming in, and then to make sure you're trying to get outside every day to get some fresh air.
And on that note, I have been talking to my patients, friends, whatever, trying to keep our energy high, our vibration high. And I think it's so important to be outside, especially now the weather's turning, and really getting to be out in nature. I laugh, like hugging trees are sort of the old hippie tree hugger kind of how they made fun of hippies, but it's really a way to kind of ground yourself, release oxytocin, reduce the stress hormones, but doing practices every day that help to raise your vibration. Life is kind of tricky for some people right now. A lot of us, like, the future's unknown, especially for fertility patients. If you are in the middle of waiting for something to happen and everything kind of got put on hold, it's so easy to feel defeated. And what we really are trying to get people involved are like or what are the things you can do to take advantage of this pause? Like, how can you increase really nutrient dense foods in your diet, increase kind of these fatty acids that we talked about, make yourself a seed jar. We're running our 30-day detox program. Like, I think it's an amazing time to jump into a detox program and to reduce your toxic burden and really rev your body and get it great to go when things start. I'm such a proponent of detoxes, and our detox is not hard. It's very supportive and very informative, and people feel so great. Anyway, so I could talk about cleanses and detoxes for fertility for a long time. But what I also want people to do is just outside of the food, like, to do things that make them happy. So I've created this, it's super silly, but the research really shows that we can affect our happiness and change our vibration by things that we do behaviorally. So on this, I just made a list of like things that make me happy, things that don't make me happy, to remind myself. What doesn't make me happy is doing the dishes by myself. So like I recruit somebody to help me. What does make me happy is listening to music. So I find myself, if I'm here cooking and I'm feeling like, oh my God, I'm making another meal alone at home or whatever. Oh, if I just turn on music, boom, I feel my vibration rise. I feel things open up. I feel more energy. I feel happier. If I go getting sun on my body, so I go sit on the deck for 10 minutes, get a little vitamin D, help raise my vibration. We want you to just try to keep yourselves as happy and energetically positive as possible during this pause, so that if it's your fertility treatment, or if it's when you and your partner decide now's the time to expand our family, that you're in the best possible space and your stress hormones are down and your sex hormones are up and ready to go and serve you.
Yeah, so that sounds really good because it's just a life strategy, right? So I think that's what the detox really is diet strategies, outlook, all that kind of stuff. As far as your whole life, you'll benefit from these things and just coming back to those things. I think the list really helps people a lot too, that list. So if you were joining us, you're probably trying to get pregnant, and we hope that works out for you, and come back and be with us another time.
Yeah, please. Like, we really want to have an active, fun community. We have one of our closest friends is helping us with our Instagram posting. They're beautiful. There's a lot of information over there, and we've got lots of good information on our website and adding even more. So find us and join our Facebook community if you want to be part of our community. We would love to get to know you and help you in your journey. Thanks
Thanks,
so much
Hillary.
for spending time with us. Bye, Kara. Love you. I wish you and my kids were with me. Bye, everyone.